Hello and welcome to another episode of MetalCast from Metal Coffee Shop. My name is Karen Edwards, and I am thrilled for today's episode because I get to spend 30 minutes talking with my good friend, Randy Chaffee from Source One Marketing. Randy, welcome to the podcast.
Karen, it's great to be here. And if you've been excited about this, you need to up your game.
Hey,
but it is great to be here. It's always great to talk to everybody at the coffee shops.
It is always great to talk with you as well. Now, Randy, you are one of our influencers on both Roofers Coffee Shop, Metal Coffee Shop. You are just out there all the time, traveling. Your business is Source One Marketing. Tell everybody a little bit about what you do.
Sure. So Source One Marketing is a very typical rep agency. So we're independent reps. We rep manufacturers in the metal roofing and post-frame building, and a little bit into the metal roofing world. I'm even diving a little bit into the steep slope world, which yeah, I know. Now I got to go learn stuff again. Like, just when I knew everything or could at least BS enough to make you think I knew everything. Now I got to start over as a rookie. But anyway, I've been doing this. So a tagline is 4+ decades. And I told Heidi when I was on with her at one of the shows someplace that I finally exposed a lie because it's really 5 decades right now. Well, I started when I was 4, but still. Yeah. So I've been doing this a long time. Yeah, I did a little bit of time as a purchasing agent in the industry, but 99% of my time has been on the road selling. And, building relationships and, all up until the last few years, all the old school way, right? Which I still believe in and I still love, and it's still people to people. But that's why I was really interested in this conversation because over the last few years, I've really grasped onto and understood the value of digital and virtual and where that's going to take us in today's world. So, but yeah, I live in Naples, Florida. Spent a little time in the summer in Michigan. I'm from Michigan originally. Just been doing this forever and plan on doing it forever because I love it so much.
Yeah, it's great. And yeah, it's good to go to Michigan in the summer. It's very
there's
beautiful.
About 3 months, maybe 4, depending. Mid-June to mid-October is perfect.
Yeah.
Anything before or after is too cold for me. But then again, I'm outside in the evening and it gets down to 76 and I think I need to go get some long pants and a sweater on. So
that's because you're used to that Naples sunshine and warmth.
I'm used to it and I love it. I got to admit, I love it.
So, we're going to talk about digital strategies to recruit the next generation today. And I love that, you said you old school way for all these years, but you've really seen the value of that digital presence and building those digital relationships. And we know that labor is a struggle for everyone in the trades right now. Yes. And whether that's people in the office, in the field, just in general, people don't think when I grow up, I'm going to work in post frame building, right, or I'm going to be a metal fabricator. Right. They just don't. So, but this next generation, they pretty much grew up online, right? Digital, they've tablets, phones, how can this industry better engage with this next generation and attract them? What should they be doing and thinking about in terms of their digital presence?
Well, and the first thought I have on that, Karen, is what you just said is engage. There's too many, I'll use the term, I guess, older folks in the industry that have never used virtual or digital. They don't like it. They don't believe in it. They think it's not for them. But see, that doesn't matter, because that's where these people are going to come from. These 16, 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20, whatever-year-old kids that we're going to want to start hiring, that's where they live. Like you said, we're one of the last, especially because I'm like old, come from a generation that actually remembers when we didn't have social media, didn't have cell phones, and didn't have websites, right? I learned all that stuff. I didn't just grow up with it. Mm-hmm. We're talking a whole generation now. 90% of the people that we're probably going to be talking to, unless they're existing veterans that are just switching jobs, this is what they know and love. And this is where they go for their news, they go for their information, they go for everything. And you can't expect in today's world that they're going to come find you. You've got to live where they live, which is a reason why I've been doing a lot more TikTok stuff, because I don't do Dancing with Goats, even though that's on my radar. But I just haven't met a good looking goat that wants to dance. So anyways, but I go there and you know why I go there? And I think this plays into what you're saying. In my world, for looking for customers and down the road, right? As a rep, that 18, 19, 20, 22, 23-year-old guy or gal that's maybe starting out at a business, maybe don't have a lot of authority yet. Maybe they're not real involved yet, but they're an up and comer. 4 years from now, what if they're that buyer? I want them to know me. Okay. I don't want to introduce myself for the first time when I'm nobody different than any other rep. I want them to know me and know me well. So they're not going to go necessarily to LinkedIn, even though I'm a big fan of LinkedIn. Yeah. I use it a lot. They're not probably going to go there. They may or may not go to Facebook because they call that wrinkle book, or what do they call that? They see that as for older people. They're going to go to TikTok and those kind of things. So I think it's important for us as we want to hire new people, especially in the younger ages. We got to go where they live, and we got to be there on a regular basis. And I think the real key is to get out of your own way and accept that you don't have to like it or love it or even care about it, but you better figure out how to use it. And I think that right out of the gates is the first thing. Because if you can't get off that, you're not going to do the things you need to do to engage with these people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because we have a lot of under 30s, I'll say, that work at the coffee shops that, go to the trade shows to work the booths with us. And they will be talking about, hey, where do we want to go have dinner tonight? And they pull out their phone and they open TikTok and they almost use that to find a place to eat. Like it's taking the place of the Google, you know?
Oh, exactly. Well, and you think that YouTube, for example, and TikTok is becoming that way. It's becoming the search engine. I got to tell you, I barely go to Google anymore because I use YouTube way more than I use Google, or I use ChatGTP more than I do Google. And I think you're right. I again, aging myself, but I go back to the days when you got in a hotel room at night, traveling on the road as a rep, and you got the phone book out. I know a lot of people don't know what that thing is. It's this real thick thing, and it's got all these pages, right? And I would look through the yellow pages under, like post-train builder, post-train supply, metal, roofing, whatever that case was. And, okay, so if anybody wants to arrest me for this, I would tear out the pages.
Oh no! So you were that guy.
I was that guy. So the first one in the room always is the winner, and But I would tear those out, and that was my Google. Literally. Yeah. And then I do this other really weird thing, Karen, was I would map quest it. Okay, back up. At one point, I go way back. At one point, I would get this thing called an atlas. It's this real tall thing, and it had all these maps, and it was really amazing. And I'd highlight all these spots and try to figure out and look at the numbers. So 17 miles, 33 miles, and then I'd add them all up and try to figure all that out, right? And that's the way I did it. And nowadays, even as a guy's been around for a while, I wouldn't even touch one if it was there.
Yeah.
Because I got YouTube, I got Google, I've got TikTok, I've got ChatGTP. I call him Chester. He and I, we get along real fine. I mean, we find all kinds of stuff. So, but it's back to what you said earlier, and we can talk about some other things here. But man, it's mindset. You just either better have it yourself as the owner of the company or the person in charge of gaining employees, or you better hire somebody that does get it, because they're just, okay, I'm going to go bold here. They're not going to come find you on a regular basis. Oh, you may get lucky here and there. Word of mouth still works, especially in smaller communities, right? But for your, and you got to remember, as you're competing in our industry, you're not just competing, because you hit on it earlier. I thought it was a great point. I grew up on a farm, but I didn't grow up thinking I'm going to sling metal or build barns or do roofing or let alone sell the stuff. I mean, we as boys, we all had that same thing. I'm going to be a cop or fireman or a soldier or, something, right? And so nobody sets out to be, and I thought that was a great point. So unless you come from it, your dad or your uncle or somebody was in it. So I think we have to explain and help them understand. This is where virtual comes in, and digital is explain the lifestyle, because all the younger folks, they don't want to work for the company store anymore. It's not a job for life necessarily. They're not looking at this as a job for life. Hopefully, if they enjoy it there, it can become a job for life for them. But they're looking for more things. They want more. They want to think they're doing something good for society. They want to think they're working for somebody that believes in green and sustainability. They want to think there's a purpose, right? That's not bad. Yeah. Not where I came from as a young guy. As a young guy, I was about as capitalist as you get. I just want how much you can pay me, right? but I respect that. But it doesn't even matter if I respect it. That's what they want. And they'll leave you over that faster than they'll leave you over a couple bucks an hour. If they're not getting that. And so you're never going to get them to even come if they feel like it's all just business, and that's it. They want to see what you're about. They want to see the lifestyle of what's it mean to be a builder or a roofer. So if you, and now today, you know where they're going. They're going to wherever, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, wherever, name it. You got such an opportunity to let them in on the backside of what you're doing. Show that early morning arrival and the guys glad-handed and busting each other's chops. Show them out on the job site. Show them singing songs while they're building some good old rock and roll or whatever. Show them cleaning up at night. Show them talking to the customer, telling them what a great job that they did today. Or, my God, that building's beautiful. Or that roof's amazing. See, that's the stuff these younger people want.
Yeah.
They don't want just a paycheck, because you know what? They can go get that somewhere else. They just want more than that. So we have to sell that to them.
It's funny because I was going to say, okay, if someone's out there saying, great, but I don't even know what to post, and you just went through it, show that morning high five, right? Show them on the job. Always make sure you have proper safety in place, because anything you put out on social media, anybody's eyes can see. But there's lots of opportunities. There's a contractor that I follow on Instagram in Texas, and the owner, president, he goes around the office probably twice a month. They'll do it, and they'll say the question of the day, and they'll ask each person. He's got a little microphone, and he goes back and forth, and he'll say, like, if you could be a superhero, who would you be and why? And, they just share funny things like that.
Exactly.
What's your favorite Christmas movie? Why? Exactly. Just get to know the culture and the people and the atmosphere. That's, I think, what speaks to that generation for sure.
It does, because we everybody probably at some point or another in life has used the word culture. They talk about culture. Again, some of us that's been around for a long, long time, you could buy culture by just paying me enough. But not anymore. Not anymore. So people are more interested in that. It's back to what I said earlier. People, they want to feel part of something. They want a camaraderie. They want to enjoy their life. It's got to be more than just bam, bam, bam all day. Because if you give that to them, they'll give you all that without you forcing it or asking. If you hire the right people, right? And today it's so easy. And a key to that is, if you're going to do that, though, don't listen to this Randy guy and say, okay, I guess I hate it, but I'll stick some stupid video up of here's a building we built. Yay. Big deal. I mean, that'd be like one of the things I saw a lot of. Fasteners is a big part of the world, metal roofing fasteners, right? But if I sat every day and did a 25-second video about, look at my fastener, isn't this really cool? Yeah, that's not too sexy, right? Who cares?
It's not.
Who cares? Nobody, Karen, nobody cares. They care about me, what I think, what I do, what maybe some things I do in the industry, my manufacturers and what they're doing, what's going on. Hey, we just had a great party at after work, or geez, there was a disaster in the community and everybody chipped in to help. Whatever that stuff is, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. See, I think a lot of people overcomplicate doing video virtual. You got a smartphone. Everybody's got a smartphone. 60-year-olds have a smartphone. And you know what? People want raw, organic, and authentic. They don't want, what's that little thing that Hollywood used to use, that little slapper thing they'd snap down? Yeah. You know what that thing is?
Take 3.
Yeah. I should know what that thing was called, but nobody wants this Hollywood perfect. They want this scripted thing. They just want Billy and Bobby talking about the the job they're working on, or what they're doing today, or man, we got a softball game tonight against the competitor across town in the local league. Man, we're going to smoke them guys, aren't we? That's the stuff they want to see, because that will bring them in and understand they're going to work more for a team and a family than they are just a place of business. Because that just doesn't fly anymore to most. But be careful to not overproduce, but don't be free willy and do nothing. I mean, it's got to be reasonable, but I'm telling you, folks, take your iPhone or your Android and just go shoot a video. And quit editing it and quit making it perfect and quit doing all that stuff, and just say, hey, I'm Bob. I'm out on the job site. We're working on this. Hey, Teddy, what are you doing? Oh, I'm setting some 30-foot truss. Those kind of things play very well. It's not that hard.
So now that we've got people out there on TikTok, on Instagram, doing these videos, they're saying, okay, I know I need to be there. I want to take that then inside, because once they capture the attention of somebody who says, hey, you know what? This is cool. And this looks like fun. I think I might want to apply for a job at that place. But then they show up and there's no, no technology in place in the business. That's another step where digital technology plays a role. Yes. You've got to have those tools for the workers.
You have to. I think, social media is a start. We just talked about it. And a statement I love to make, because I truly believe it, is back to what we talked about a few minutes ago. I come from an era when we didn't even have websites. That was an interesting thing. Now, and then at some point, it became clear if you didn't have a website, you didn't exist. And it's still that way. If you don't have a website, you don't exist. And again, you don't have to like social media. You can hate it. I don't participate in politics or all that other garbage at all. Zero.
Yeah, I know.
That's suicide in the business world, and just dumb. It's just dumb. Yeah. But you don't have to like it. But if you're not involved and have a presence, for a large part, you don't exist, period. And you don't exist with these younger folks that you're trying to hire. And so that translates into what you just said, Karen, is you come in the office and there's no computers around, or they're just using it for this, but they're not using the drone and satellites. They're not using AI, for example. That's an area that I've been getting really active in lately, and some other exciting things in my world coming down the pike. I think it's exciting, unless I screw it up, but which is possible. But AI is the next thing. You better be using that stuff.
Yeah.
Not only you better be using it for your own good, for your business, but like you said, and I think you was alluding to, if these people don't feel like I'm going to work for a modern, in-touch business, I'm going to go down the road. You're going to pay me X dollars an hour. They'll pay me X dollars an hour, but I get to do this and this and this, and that's just going to be way more fun. And work has to be a bit fun for a lot of these younger people, especially. It's not just I don't care if I hate it. I'll just do this job and I'll hate it for the next 40 years until I retire. Yeah, they can do that. You'd be lucky if they hate it that bad. They'll work 40 days.
Yeah.
Right? They're just not going to do that. And again, I would caution folks maybe in more my age group and younger that are owners. We can have our opinion on how we don't like that and what's wrong with the youth of America and why don't they want to work like I used to and like my dad used to. I'm not even saying we're right on some of that, because I think some of the changes with youth is not bad.
Right.
But even if I think they're wrong, at some point when all the guys that are 40, 50, and 60 retire, who am I going to hire?
Yeah.
So I better be paying attention to what these people want and try to give them a work environment that they're comfortable with, and that, because people want to perform. I think 90% of people actually want to perform. They want to work in an area that they're happy and comfortable and enjoy. And so back to to all the video and that and technology, man, you got not only for your own good, just to run your business, because if, I didn't mean to get off onto AI, but that's part of the discussion. But some AI will take certain jobs. Just like there used to be a lot of people that, what do they call harriers, that used to shoe horses? Not a harrier.
Oh.
What was the word?
Furrier?
Furrier. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever those guys were. See, I'm not as smart as I thought I was. But edit that part out. Anyway, but when Henry Ford started making cars, all those guys not all, but a lot of them started losing their jobs, but they didn't lose their livelihood. They just learned to make wheels, or they learned to punch out bumpers, or, whatever the case was. So there will be some jobs that go away with AI thing, but I do believe that the place that AI will be hurting people is if they don't use it and they don't get involved. Because they're going to fall behind. They're going to fall behind very quickly. And AI by nature multiplies and compounds on itself so quickly that it's like you can go overnight from kindergarten, well, they don't do math, I guess, first, second grade math to senior calculus in about 13 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't get involved and start figuring out what some of this stuff is and how it works and how can I make it work for my business, not just to use it because it's fun to use. I enjoy it because all of a sudden I kind of like some of that stuff. But I find I cut a lot of hours a week by letting AI do things for me, not making up things, just things that I normally do that would take me an hour to do.
Yeah.
And I do it in 3 minutes.
It's crazy.
Then I can either go have another glass of Cabernet or I can do something else, like make another 2 or 3 customer calls or whatever that case may be, right? I mean, even if it's, I'll go play another round of golf, which I don't. But I'm just saying, I don't care what you do at that time. It's a big saver. And a lot of those things that it does for you, it does it quicker, faster, and better than you're ever going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and
it
sounds scary, but a lot of these things we're talking about, TikTok, Instagram, making videos, using AI, great thing to hire an intern, a college intern, right? Have them come in. They understand it. They know about it. They can look at what you want to accomplish and offer ideas and ways, and they know what's trending and what's hot out there. So you don't have to come on and try to figure it out yourself, right?
Right. And a good point with that, and I love is mentoring. We always think of mentoring as older folks mentoring the younger people, which is very important. There's a lot of stuff we know, but I like to get mentored by younger people because they know stuff about all this new technology, these new terms, the new everything, that it would take me 6 months to try to waddle through this and figure out what it is. And in 12 minutes, they can explain to me what that means.
Right.
Or would you just do it for me and then I'll learn from you? So we can learn. Mentoring doesn't have to go just one way, and it shouldn't. It should go both ways. We can learn a lot from the younger generation. And when it comes to all this stuff, back to what we said earlier, Karen, we're still novices because we've been doing it for a while. That's the only thing they know. We're making judgments based on before, which there's some pluses too, but we're making judgments on technology based on knowing nothing. They knew nothing but the technology, if that makes sense. So they're just all in and they don't get afraid of it. I remember years ago with an iPhone, or it might even not have been an iPhone, it might have been a I don't know,
BlackBerry?
Nextel or whoever. BlackBerry, there it was. It might have been one of those. I couldn't figure out to do something in at the time, I think she was like 9, 10, 11-year-old granddaughter. Says, "Here, Papa." She takes it and hands it back to me, and all of a sudden it's up what I wanted. I said, "Well, how'd you do that?" "Well, you punch over here and then but there's nothing there to tell me that." And she looked at me like I'm some kind of an idiot. I mean, you just know that, right? But I didn't know that. But they do. That's my point. And, But back to being easy, and I don't want to forget this because I think it's important. Raw organic is important. They want the real you, but don't get sloppy. Don't put up a website that's just elementary school. That's your first and sometimes only in with these people. And in today's world of what's important is a lot of times why your social media presence and your website presence needs to be good, whether it's in the sales world or whether it's in attracting potential employees, which we're talking about today. That might be the only shot you get with them. Whatever they see on the website, they go, "Oh, maybe I'll check this company out." Then they see a bunch of videos and, my God, this looks like a great place. Look at that. Look at all the stuff they're doing. I think I want to work for these people. That's the win side.
Yeah.
The nothing, or even worse than nothing, probably is what's the word I want to use? Garbage. Just terrible. Just like nothing. Just very, Yeah, they're moving right on by. We're in a swipe left society, right? And I find myself, I love TikTok. I just love TikTok. I love to do videos and do stuff, but I just love to look at TikToks. But even if it's something I'm interested in, and the first 3 seconds, which we all know if we pay attention to this at all, it is the hook, right? You either get them or you don't. Yeah. And even as a guy my age, it works. I'm telling you, I look at the hook and I think I'm interested. So they got me with the hook, but it's like, will you get to what I want? You get to the subject. And then I swipe and I realized it was like 9 seconds, right? But I'm already done. And I'm an older guy. I have a different mentality. I actually still enjoy reading these weird things called a book. I know they have pages and a cover and all that stuff. I actually enjoy picking those up and reading them. But a lot of these kids never read a book. Everything's on an iPad or on their iPhone or somewhere that they're getting video. So the attention span, I think, for everybody, good, bad, or indifferent, and probably good in some ways and not so good in others, but we don't have much of an attention span anymore.
No.
So swipe left, baby. I mean, you better get me right now, and it better be stuff I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I talked some event a while back. We talked about this, that if you're a builder and you might be a 40-year veteran, very good, well-known, all that works to your favor. And people to people and word of mouth is still, at the end of the day, the best. I don't think there's any argument. But what if this 23-year-old kid, 25-year-old comes up from wherever, built for 2-3 years, pretty good at what he does, knowledgeable, friendly, gets some jobs, and everywhere and Ma and Mr. and Mrs. Smith are sitting every night thinking about building a building, let's say, right? And every night they're seeing this TikTok or this Reels or wherever they're getting it, all the stuff we just talked about. This really affable kid, he's talking to the owners and he's playing softball on the weekends and showing his daughter at some event. At the end of the day, who are you going to call?
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, this 23-year-old kid that doesn't have near the experience you have, you just like him. I trust him. I seen 14 people talking about how great he was, right? That's where they even, at the end of the day, would you be able to maybe build a better building? You still might, but you're never going to get the chance.
Right.
Because he's won them over, and they're going, you know what? Let's give Billy Bob a chance here. He's just a great kid, and he's got a good crew, and he's a nice family, and he goes to church, and whatever the reasons are that you like him, right? And you've got testimonials, people talking about how well he did. What he's done is he's leveled, if not went ahead in the playing field very quickly.
Yeah.
And so you need to do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And in all aspects of your business, it helps, like you just said, with sales, it helps with recruitment. It helps with productivity, with being able to do more and get more done by using AI. It's just a no-brainer, right?
It is. It is. It is. It's, and what I love is that with AI, especially, the more you work with it, the more it knows you.
It does.
More it knows what you want. Plus, I use it a lot. I'll make this really short, but I use it for trip planning. Remember I told you earlier, back in the day, it would take hours. I'd have to, how the little numbers on the map, most people older at my age wouldn't even know what that meant.
So many inches is this many miles.
Yeah. Or it'd have these little black numbers like 32. If you look real close, and it was 32 miles from this town to this town. Then you keep adding them up to try to figure out how far it is. I have my chat knows that I like Hilton Properties first.
Oh, yeah.
I like IHG second and Marriott's third. And so I'll plug in, say, this trip this week, I need to be here on Thursday at 2, and I need an hour and a half. I need to be here on Monday at whatever. I put in the anchor stores, I call them. It's the mall effect in my mind. I put the anchor stores in, and then I say, here's the other people that I want to see this week, and here's the addresses. I need an hour and 15 minutes at each one. Don't do any lunch because I don't eat lunch. I can start at whatever time in the morning after 5. I put in the basics, and Karen, nanoseconds.
Yeah.
It's got the whole thing laid out. And it says, now it'll tell me. That's pretty aggressive. Hybrid Randy, that's what it calls me. It's pretty aggressive. You're really going to be really tight, and you're never going to get, if you get one spot that you take more than an hour and 15 minutes, you're never going to make it. So, okay. this was just a outlier. I don't have to go there. I was just going to go there because I was in the area. What happens if we pull that out? Nanoseconds. Oh, there we go. Now you're in good shape. And, Karen, I used to spend hours doing those trips on weekends.
Yeah. Yeah. It's your travel planner. It's your virtual assistant. Yeah.
And now the only thing I need to figure out is if I can ever figure out how to actually make it or have it use my app and make the reservations for the hotels. Wouldn't that be cool?
Ooh, I bet. Yeah, there's a way to do it, I'm sure.
I'll be there about 6:30, have a burger, fries, and a glass of their house Cabernet on when I get there, right? That'd be
That's right. Waiting for me. Oh, wow.
But anyways, good stuff.
So one of these days it's coming, it's coming. So it's great that you're familiar with it. Yeah. Wow. Randy, thank you so much for being here for this conversation. It's always great to see you and always great to talk with you.
You bet. It's always good. Anytime. Appreciate you.
Yeah. And thank you everybody out there for listening. You can find more about Randy on Metal Coffee Shop, Roofers Coffee Shop. We've got articles, information, everything you need to know. But if they really want to get in touch with you directly, how should they do that, Randy?
Listen, really hard. You ready? It's www. I don't know if he says that anymore. ibuyfromrandy.com.
ibuyfromrandy.com. You made it easy.
I shouldn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody out there for listening. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform because we want to see you on a future episode of MetalCast. See you next time. Bye.